Well, I've been kicked out of my near every bar around. I've been locked up for driving 120 through town. I've been shot at and cut with a knife, messing around with another man's wife. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Threw my boss out the window and got fired for my last job. Hot wired a city truck and turned it over in the mayor's yard. Beat my brother-in-law half to death. Lost $20 on his football bet. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Good old boys, we're all the same. Ain't no way we'll ever change. Ain't no harm by the things we do, or the trouble that we get into. Other than a wild hair once in a while, we can't help it, it's just our style. Good old boys is all we'll ever be. I got an 6 weeks overdue. I got caught with a truck full of booze.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show. Ash, Brent, Commander in the corner.
Howdy, howdy.
We're all here. Glad you're all there, whether you're on Magic, Facebook, YouTube's, Roku, wherever you are. Keep tuning in. If you're on the social media sites, make sure you like, follow, subscribe. Please. Helps us. Help us help you. Helps us keep our programming costs down.
True story. The fact that we don't make any money helps us keep our programming keeps our programming costs
There's
down.
that.
Wasn't
Cost of these tariffs. I can barely afford my morning coffee.
Wasn't for our moms.
Thanks, Mom.
That's right. The Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the great folks at AT Deerland Feed.
Boy, did we get a testimonial last night about just the impact we're having on people's buying habits.
Yes, no doubt. No doubt. And Deerland reporting that they sell more Balin now than they ever have, the pre-emergent. I also had a visit yesterday, so before we even do the weather, with Sean Neely at the chopping block, and Sean emphasized, he goes, I've got about 15 regular plate lunch buyers that all said, hey, I was driving by, I saw you guys, I heard about you on Wade and Carter. He said, he goes, radio definitely works.
Absolutely, it works
for the chopping block. So I told him to tell John Turner that. But he said there's no doubt that Wade and Carter has positively affected our bottom line.
Absolutely. And we appreciate all of you who support those that support this forum.
And tell them, it matters to us. Tell us, hey, Wade and Carter sent me. 75 degrees in Victoria under sunny skies, heading to a high today of 90.
Peeking into the last weekend of June, looks like Sunday might see an increased chance of rain. Not a lot, but probably about a 70% chance of rain and about a quarter inch of rain to fall is what the forecast is calling for this morning.
Does the Wade and Carter set me work everywhere?
The what?
Does the Wade and Carter sent me work everywhere?
Oh, no, it doesn't.
No,
Try getting the Wade and Carter discount of Veracruz. You won't.
No, there's no discount.
Oh, okay.
No.
I was just wondering.
No, you could have a surcharge.
Asking for a friend.
Yeah. Stephanie Connie, first one in this morning. Mark Kurt, Scott Tomko, glad to see you all, everybody. Thank you for being here.
This just in live from Erica Briggs. Going to be open for brunch starting this weekend, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturday and Sunday.
At the Vita Cafe. Nice.
Frozen mimosas, mimosa towers. She sent the menus. Let me just see if I can just peruse off the menu.
All right. Yeah.
Shareables, best dang biscuit basket, biscuits and gravy, a breakfast charcuterie. It's going to have like
gravy,
little mini pancakes, fried eggs, bacon, pineapple. skillet baked brie with hot honey,
Ooh,
clothesline candied bacon.
Ooh.
Wow.
Sounds good.
Strawberry mini waffle stack. Anytime you put the word mini in there,
Yeah.
It gives the illusion, right? The grand mini buffet.
You just reminded me of Doug Henning. It's an illusion.
Come on out for all the Chinese food you can eat, but it's a mini buffet. Yeah.
Just sounds healthier.
Brisket breakfast hash, eggs Benedict with cloud egg and hollandaise, baked egg muffins with fruit.
Those are really good. Her baked egg muffins.
Tell you what,
Brisket tacos are good too that she has during
they
the
are
week.
good.
Yeah, absolutely.
8 to 3, Saturday and Sunday.
At the new
So
Vita
you
Cafe.
Get up late, get over to the Vita Cafe.
Next week, serving breakfast tacos.
Should be wonderful.
Jordan Glass in. Mark Zapata. Good morning. Jennifer Marr.
Hi, Jennifer.
There's Monty Howard. Good morning, Monty. Daniel Wade White. Will Vincent. P. Strauss. Good morning. Janie Gonzalez. Junior Samples. BJ Nelson. Still recovering from her semi-big win at Palace Bingo last night.
We'll get to some bingo observations in a minute.
Bobby Leister. Monty says he's on the mosquito habitat patio.
There you go. It was great to see Jennifer Marr last night. We went by, actually right downstairs from here for Judge Zeller's get together, and it was nice.
To the left, back and to the left.
Right. It was nice.
Yeah, it was a good time last night.
Nice group of
great
folks.
Yep. A lot of people.
Sheriff was there.
Ricky King, Jackie Parsons, Scott Snow, Peter McNally, Lisa Poole, Andrew Alvarez. Good morning.
State
Greg
Rep was
Garcia.
there.
Morning Marina checking in.
District Attorney was there. We were there.
We were there.
It was a warrant-free zone. They didn't.
We got some threats by a few people that told us last night that they are going to come on the program.
Yes.
Lauren Moe, now working for
Yes.
the county. She's going to come on the show.
Not Junior though, right?
No, Junior knows. his
Junior
role,
was there.
but he was there.
But is he coming on the show again?
No.
Oh, thank
No,
goodness.
We I got a kick out of Mo saying, "Well, we won't give the judge a hard time, will we?" We might could.
Kind of do.
We've done it before.
I like it. Was now got muscle.
Yeah.
He's gonna come with her on the show.
Oh yeah. Nice lady.
Yeah.
Smart lady.
Well, you have no choice but to say that because her husband will punch you.
Is
in
he
the
a
head.
giant? What a
Coach-
nice
Coach
guy,
Mo's
though.
a big guy. He's a good guy though.
He's a big man.
Favorite of all the students who's ever taught and coached. That's what I know.
There you
They
go.
all love the guy.
There
My
you go.
daughters included. Thought
What
he
do
was
we
great.
have?
Well,
I told you, let's just give it one good solid half hour and
you
wrap
think?
this
That's all we
thing
can
up.
do.
Yeah.
Well, great time last night at Palace Bingo. We kept the winning streak alive once again.
BJ Nelson
a couple
sporting
people-
the 11th anniversary
Yeah.
White Trash Services dry fit shirt
Don't make fun of them anymore.
in like road director yellow. You know
It
that
was.
color?
That bright yellow. Yep.
It was fantastic.
Yep.
She won.
She won.
She get like $11 or
I
something.
don't know. What do you think she made?
I don't know what she won.
She won one of the $150 pods.
With 30 other people.
So we have Ash is the
Ms. Trot won.
yes. Shannon.
Yep. Who else? I think that was it from our table,
They
but
did shush us
A lot.
They shushed the crowd a lot. I'm not
Yeah.
sure it was us.
I don't think it was all us. The Veracruz gang came out and joined us. We had about
Yes.
40 people there last night.
Minnie
It
and
might have been
Mary
our-
and Ida.
might have been our largest contingent of Wade and Carter
Let's
listeners.
say there were
Ever.
40 there at least.
Easily.
Look at there. She said it was 35.50, and so that let her break even for the night
Wow.
with the snacks.
There you go.
Mr. Nelson didn't come.
No,
Had Mr.
but-
Nelson come, they
But
could have won.
BJ brought two friends.
There you go. And they
So-
told two people, and they
Yep.
told two people. And the next thing you know, we have a Well of Balsam commercial.
It's a pyramid scheme.
We had a lot of first-time bingo players, bingo virgins, I guess you could refer to them as. I don't know.
It's
No,
not, well,
no, you can't.
You
Well, I
you-
can when I'm gonna because I'm gonna extend the
You shouldn't.
No,
You shouldn't. Because
Right.
first time many of them have been called a virgin in years. But Well, we did have one, and it happens, right?
Premature Bingolation, we called it last night.
You play one game, you play it twice a night, but there's a game where you black out every dot. Every dot has to get blacked out. And
usually 40 to 43 numbers is the sweet spot of where somebody will yell bingo.
Never 36.
No.
See what I'm saying? Never. So,
never. And certainly never 18 numbers.
Yeah. So,
which I think is where we were.
We had one consistent listener who I'm going to make Ash say who it was, but just doing the dots, and all of a sudden there were 5 in a row on her blackout card, and
which
she
is
goes
sometimes a regular bingo,
and it was that little semi-ecstatic bingo. Oh,
first time bingo player.
Yeah.
Was it Dawn?
No, it was Kelly Frommy. Kelly came in so excited, and everybody was just like, people that didn't know her all.
Yeah.
And of course, our crowd was the worst. I think at the end of the evening, I think Shannon Trott said that was the dumbest thing ever.
And then somebody else who we didn't even know told her she was an idiot.
Yeah, I mean,
come on, don't be so judgy. It's bingo.
Bingo.
It's not life or death. It's not like she screwed up CPR on somebody.
Which is hard to do nowadays. All you do is just compression.
Thank God.
I'm not clearing your airway.
No. Yeah, obviously that show I passed out, you didn't even go into it.
I kicked you and thought about continuing on. Our audience demanded it.
But yeah, that was a lot. That was a lot of fun.
I can't go back and watch that show, but I think I said something like, "Folks, I gotta go. We got a situation here."
It's still our most watched show ever. Tells
Probably.
You how macabre everybody is.
No doubt. Let's watch the show again where Ash died.
That's when Carter Castaneda became a fan.
Right. Now I would use this. I'd be like, "Hey, bam, bam, get up."
Carter and Carter in the mornings.
Right, he could be here.
Kelly says that was the best cheeseburger last night. At least you got something out of it.
I had one bite of cake and my wife yelled at me. One bite. Like, come on, honey.
Half the cake was gone.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty good cake, though.
It was a big bite.
White cake.
It was a big bite.
White icing. Sprinkles. I didn't have the chocolate cake. I was a little disappointed. I was really looking forward to that.
I've been good. I don't cheat on my little carnivore plan.
You did good last
It's
night.
tough. It is tough. There's times you just, the other night she bought one of those, she was at Sam's and it's like a gallon of like chocolate chip cookie dough.
Yeah.
And it was really good. I mean, they made the kids, Ryland, they made a bunch of cookies and because Katie was there. And I had one, Dawn had one, then we split one. And I was just like, the next day, I was like, oh. BJ Nelson says, she's trying to keep you alive, Grandpa.
Yeah.
I can't fight with her. She wins every argument.
Well, I mean, I don't need you to go on a sabbatical because your heart gives out and you laid up in bed for
I'm
a
good
while.
there. I don't ever worry about heart problems. I don't worry about much.
No,
but
you don't. You're worry free.
I'm worry free.
I think that's part of being a guy.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah. Think that Ayatollah, you think that guy's
He might be
worry-free?
worried. Yeah. Unless you're the Ayatollah guy, you might be a little worried.
I'm curious. I'd like y'all's thoughts on this. I'm a little confused at the people that keep critiquing the mission. Did the U.S. really cripple Iran's nuclear capabilities? Did they this? Did they that? I just don't know how much the semantics matter. At the end of the day, Iran and Israel agreed to stop fighting for a period of time, and had Trump not done what he did, they'd still be fighting. I think
agree.
Either statement is incorrect.
And the media has completely downplayed the fact that Iran called Trump and said, we're sending 14 missiles your way.
Yeah, and they're going to go at this base
at this time
so that we had the opportunity to shoot them down.
There's Carlotta Chandler, who was also a first-time bingoer last night. She says we had fun, even with the pretend bingo.
Absolutely. And glad to see you checking in. Yeah, that's awesome. And bingo is fun.
We had fun.
But the games are not the deal. It's
No.
the camaraderie and having the folks there. Yeah. Did you know which one is Richard Hurst? He must have been one.
Cooter?
I don't know.
Enos? I don't think it was Enos.
I don't know.
Andrew Alvarez says our media is the only group of people that don't see it as a success. It was so successful that even NATO called Trump daddy.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. No, it was an interesting analogy, and NATO Secretary General just kind of jumped the gun. I think he was getting tired of listening to Trump bloviate.
Yes.
So he just said,
so are we,
A little bit.
But here's the deal. When the media constantly attacks the guy, it doesn't matter what he does. When the media constantly attacks him, at some point he's got to say, what about this? What about unemployment going down? What about the economy? What about the stock market?
Yeah, well,
he has to kind of talk about these things just to survive.
Yeah. Well, and here's the interesting thing. The Epic Times with a really good report last night. I saw it on the bombing of Iran. And don't forget, and let's be honest. You got to wonder a little bit because we've been hearing for 30 years, Iran's going to have a nuclear weapon in 3 weeks.
And don't forget, and let's be honest, is along the lines of by far and
by golly,
and right. And without a doubt, what was the other one?
I don't remember
It was on BBC.
Yeah.
The guy just goes doubled down that by far, and he's by far and
bygone or something.
The greatest ever. But 15 years they've been playing this. Huh?
So that's the thing. They're blaming Trump for this. This is a plan that the Pentagon started working on, developed 15 years ago. That takes us back to the Obama administration.
And isn't that something? 15 years ago, that it's that far back.
Yet Obama, he was using diplomacy with Iran. He was giving them pellets of cash.
Yeah, that's such a crazy assertion. Obama dropped bombs on the Middle East, and they're saying, well, this type of retarding of their nuclear program has never been done before. And the left said, well, yes, it has. Barack Obama did it with diplomacy. Well, it clearly didn't work.
No.
They're still developing, nuclear capabilities.
I saw a tally of bombs that have been dropped by the U.S. and NATO and other allied forces over the last 25 years. And under Obama, Biden, the first Trump administration, we were dropping, and when I say we, I mean collectively all these groups, like 40,000 bombs a year in certain countries, about 15 of them on the list. And the U.S. accounted for anywhere from 70 to 80% of those bombs in any given year, including the Obama years, including the Biden years.
It is crazy if you think about it that we're off bombing people.
Yeah.
I to be honest, I did not recall that.
No, because they don't tell you.
Yeah.
Yet they're up in arms that Trump dropped 14 bombs to get rid of Iran's nuclear capabilities, and AOC is going, this is unconstitutional. You were allowing it under Biden, AOC. You didn't ask Biden to give you permission. Had no clue.
She didn't even know it happened.
But according to this story by Ryan Morgan in the Epic Times, the bomb developed specifically for Fordow began 15 years ago by the Pentagon. 2009. That's early in Obama's first term.
So that facility's been there 15 years at least.
They knew it was there.
We may have to take it out someday. That's what ought to concern Iran, that they've got it out in the middle of nowhere. This is a mountainous region in the middle of nowhere. And the U.S. not only found it, but destroyed it.
Well, and here's the other thing that surprised me with all this. We only want to enrich uranium for power. Yet nowhere in Iran have they started building a nuclear reactor or nuclear power plant.
No.
Because what are you going to do?
It might be a lie.
You think?
Yeah.
Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Kane, said this program began in 2009 when they wanted to design a purpose-built method to knock out the Fordow facility. They knew about it then, and they developed a plan. Under Obama, in 2009, a Defense Threat Reduction Agency officer was brought into a vault at an undisclosed location, briefed on something going on in Iran, according to Kane, who declined to identify that person because they're probably still working in that field.
An asset.
For more than 15 years, this officer and his teammate lived and breathed the single target Fordow, a critical element of Iran's covert nuclear weapons program. They spent years studying everything from the geology surrounding Fordow to the construction materials used and other equipment that are arriving.
He says they literally dreamed about this target at night when they slept. But look at it. It's an interesting looking place. There's a road around, a loop around it. It looks like a fairly large, I don't know. We have no idea how big the buildings are.
No clue.
But it could be a couple of 100 acres inside a fence.
The Massive Ordnance Penetrator, or MOP, is a bunker buster. It's a 30,000-pound bomb designed to burrow and explode deep underground. They spent years testing it specifically for this facility. This has been going on since Obama, but Trump is getting all the blame because under this plan, he's been the only one with the cojones to actually go ahead and bomb Iran. And what did it get us? Peace in the Middle East.
He says those two soldiers were watching everything. They knew all the products they used to build that facility, where they were purchased, all the materials, where they got them. They knew every breath Iran was taking. Covert intelligence operation. But so here's the deal. Trump finally, and I'm not saying that Biden should have done it, but had Biden done it, the left would be like, yeah, who are you calling soft now?
Yeah. You can't be that dementia riddled if he's dropping bombs in Iran.
So Trump does it, and then he gets crucified for it. I think the media should be ashamed.
Well, I'll take that ashamedness a step further in a second here. There's Jarrett McCrugan checking in, my cousin. We don't usually do this on this show, but if we did, we would share it.
Yeah.
Happy birthday today.
Happy birthday to the unnamed super fan. There you go.
Joel Gomez, Sherry Jacobs. Miss Sherry at bingo last night. Did not see her.
Right.
Met a lady named Nancy last night. She brought her granddaughter. Good to see them there. Andrew, there's Adam Daughtry. Prayers for your sons, sir. I know they're off serving.
Amen.
But the media now there's mom.
Hi,
Good morning, Mom. Great grand probably enjoyed the visit with the great granddaughter.
Great grand just said the baby was splendid.
Here's how stupid the media is. Somebody decided to go on Twitter yesterday and pick apart Donald Trump's claiming he's 6'3" because apparently some other guy on the dais at NATO is supposedly 6'2", and they were
king of the Netherlands.
Yeah, and they're about the same height.
That guy's
in the
big
photo.
Man. I did read a guy on there that said, "Look, I've met the president. I'm 6'2". He looked me eye to eye. He goes, I don't see what the issue is here, and I don't either. In fact, I'm not sure Donald Trump ever claimed to be any certain height.
And he might have been 6'3" at one point, but he's also 83 years old, and you tend to shrink a little bit as you age. So, he lost an inch. Big deal.
Fact check. I think the president's 78, but we'll let that go.
Whatever it is.
Sure.
Doesn't change
geriatric
fact
check.
the fact.
I knew it was wrong, but wasn't worth correcting.
Right. No, he's on a roll. It's Friday.
You still lose height.
We've made it
78
through.
or 83.
I have to get you a box if you start shrinking.
By the way, I heard Cody was buying step stools at Lowe's yesterday.
Yeah,
what
was that all
the
about? A little
Was.
white plastic step stool.
You have to get your wife in a vehicle to take the baby to the doctor. So
There you go.
it was.
Noticing how that today, I'm going to have to go this way. My jersey and my skin, I feel like Donald Trump in an Astros.
You're very orange today.
What is that?
I don't know. We're going to have to work on the lighting.
We need better lighting.
We need better lighting. Also, thanks to Brian Smalls for keeping up with me. Brian Small.
Be Smalls.
B Smalls.
Yeah,
That's
he's good.
definitely who I saw at Lowe's yesterday. Nice to know people watching out for us.
Yep.
Monty Howard says size matters to the mainstream media.
No kidding.
The only
But
time.
there's where we are. I want you to realize that what they've complained about since he took office was the price of eggs, his height, and the relative success of a clandestine military operation where nobody got hurt. Everybody came home and slept in their own bed the next day, and we eliminated war in the Middle East. But by golly, he's only 6 foot. He's only 6 foot. We have to harp on his height, the price of eggs, and people I did hear one of those deals this morning. To me, if I were like the czar and I could go send him away, let him stay. There was a guy in, I don't know if it was California, landscaper. He'd been in the country 31 years.
Oh, yeah.
He gets arrested by ICE. Now, apparently, in an effort of not brilliance, he was waving a weed eater at the ICE agents. Stay back. And so they pepper sprayed him, and then they handcuffed him. And he's scheduled to be deported. And you're like, well, that's fine. So what's the big deal? He's a landscaper. He's been here 31 years. He's still a criminal. He's still got to go. He got here illegally. Well, he's raised 3 sons in this country, and they all served in the United States Marine Corps. 2 of them are still active duty. He's enough of a patriot and an American to raise 3 young men that wanted to serve their country. Do you give that guy a pass?
Well,
and there's a part of me that
isn't that what isn't our legal system somewhat designed for some gray area?
Yes. And there was a guy, they had an Asian guy who said, I'm going to self-deport so that I can reapply. And maybe that's the angle. Maybe you get the lenience of the administration if you say, hey, I'm going to self-deport. By the way, I have filed a tax return every year for the last 30. I, raised 3 adult children.
But should the fact he raised 3 adults who
Not
technically
necessarily.
They're born here, so I guess they are citizens under our current laws,
which is going to change and needs to change. Birthright citizenship is a joke.
Doesn't exist in almost any other country.
No, and shouldn't exist here.
No, but how do you but why should we make an exception? I get what you're saying, but at the same time, I came here legally. I did not work here illegally. Well, I was not allowed to work. And here's a guy who's been here 31 years.
And as Adam
he probably had some opportunities.
He had 30 years to legalize. If you couldn't wander down and find a way to fill out the paperwork when Joe Biden was president, you probably deserve to be deported. The idea is,
and that's
are there other crimes we would say, well, he was okay, he's been selling weed in the neighborhood for 30 years, but his kids are all Marines. Do we not arrest him for selling weed because his kids are Marines? I don't know. Is he a criminal in the sense of the law? Yes, he is. Yeah.
Adam Daughtry says he just got caught. And here's the thing, who's telling his story to try to get the heartstrings tugged in the media and by others?
The exceptions abound, but the rule is still the rule.
But I don't know that at this point. I think you've got to not make any exceptions. And then, let's provide,
right.
You can't, unemployment is still low despite all these mass deportations.
And Americans are applying for the jobs.
Unemployment is still low here.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me that Americans aren't willing to do the jobs.
Remember when the tariffs were going to really muddy the water?
Well, I'm mad at the tariffs. They've cost me my coffee. I think I talked about this yesterday somewhere. It may not have been on the show.
This is first world problem.
It is. My bag of Tim Hortons used to cost me $12 a bag. Big bag.
Which was a steal. Subsidized probably by Canada's government.
Now it's costing me almost $18 for that bag in the last couple of months.
About a half gallon, it would last a while.
Don't judge.
I'm not. I'm just saying.
I got to have 3 cups of coffee every morning.
It's your colon.
Put up with you.
No, I'm a dream date.
It's not to put up with you. So I can start my day on the right foot. Andrew Alvarez says, get him out. 8 USC 1324 says if you harbor illegal aliens or encourage them, you go to jail for up to 10 years. Yeah. You know, it's funny. I respected the laws.
Well, and you've been consistent. We've talked about that. We're in our 9th year here.
Yeah.
And for over 8 of them, we've discussed the fact that when you moved here, you weren't allowed to work. You couldn't take any government assistance. And now it's like, you know, if you just get here, you should. Well, why wouldn't they give you this? And why would they kick you off Medicaid? And why? I haven't been able to totally disprove this idea that they're making cuts in Medicaid that are going to affect people. But it troubles me when people that, at least to a degree, are respected Democrat leaders like Elizabeth Warren. I mean, she ran for president. And she's going, 11 million people are going to lose their benefits. Is this what you voted for?
Yes.
I just don't believe that 11 million Americans are going to lose their benefit. I just don't, unless it involves the idea that, like every other social program, unemployment, for example, that you have to show, if you're an able-bodied American person, you have to show that you're making a legitimate effort to find work. And if you're not doing so, and that kicks you off Medicaid, then so be it. I have no problem with removing their entitlement as a means to motivate them to go to work.
Is that just all benefits, or is that specifically Medicaid?
I think it's specifically Medicaid. Other benefits.
That's about 3% of the population. If you believe the 11 million number and our population being at about $330 million, it's about 3% or 330 million people. What are we spending on those 3% of the population?
It's billions.
There's the problem.
There's no doubt about it. You want to spend billions? You can't do it at the dollar floor store.
You cannot.
Things are too reasonable there. You couldn't do it at Atzenhofer Chevrolet because the deals are too good there. You couldn't do it at Chestnut Furniture. Great to see Bobby Leon and his lovely bride last night. He said, keep up the good work. Chestnut can love make your house a home. Get in and see why you just always do better at Chestnut. Go in and put down some new flooring, whether you want luxury laminate, luxury vinyl, you want tile, ceramic, whatever you want, whatever flooring you desire, whatever you can envision for that room. Go put that floor down and then cover it up with brand new furniture from Chestnut.
Yep.
Would it be of interest for you all to know that California has more than double any other state of people that are on Medicaid and CHIP?
There you go. And here's the deal.
And it's bankrupting that state.
I was going to say,
and
Gavin Newsom.
And New York's the second.
Well, they're 2 loser states, right? Gavin Newsom whining the other day about that Trump is taking away. Now, I don't understand why a governor, except for the fact that he's unashamedly running for president while neglecting his role as governor. Gavin Newsom is chirping about Donald Trump's taking benefits away from a whole bunch of people. And on his Twitter thread, Californians were saying, oh, the hypocrisy of the guy that bankrupted the state of California's by giving all those benefits to illegals. He took the pot of money and gave it to the illegals.
Yeah. He doesn't want to even acknowledge the fact that most Californians actually agree
absolutely
with Trump and getting people off the doles and not giving illegals.
California's population, 1/3 of it would be on Medicaid.
Absolutely. Monty Howard calls it bureaucratic malpractice. Kathleen Leiniger says he's buying votes with government benefits. Absolutely.
Yeah. You know what's interesting is we talk about
I'll just give up on that break.
Well, we got the break in.
No, we did.
Close enough.
Oh, those people.
We'll get to them. Sometimes the forum and the conversation, and they understand this. That's the beauty of our
So if I just go like this, White Trash Services, you think BJ's happy now?
Today she might be.
550-1826.
She won last night. How much more does she want?
She'll be happy.
Go by it. BJ will, give you $1 out of the $35.50 she won.
Well, you know what? She'll give you free trash
almost
service if you sign up between now and July, and then you'll be entered into a draw for 11 months of it.
Yep.
But it's crazy that the media, as much as they're talking about this guy being in New York City and the Democrat being a socialist, and this is what and how you know the Democrats are no longer Democrats, they're socialists / communists. Now a couple of things with this guy. Now the argument on the left is you don't know the difference between a socialist and a communist. You know what? I don't care. They're the same.
Right.
They start saying they always start saying they're socialists. Look at the world. Look at history. The left always tells you, well, we can't allow history to repeat itself. Trump is Hitler and Hitler was bad. So we can't allow Trump to be repeating what Hitler did. The funny thing is, you look at every country that has tried to take over control under a socialist regime. I'll spit it out eventually. I haven't had enough coffee. They always claim they're there for the worker. They always claim they're going to make things equal. And how does it end up? They end up controlling everything. There's two classes of people, the ruling class and the poor, who have no rights, any ability to climb up that ladder to get to the ruling class. You're anointed by those in the ruling class, usually by lineage. And that's it. That's how it's worked. That's history repeating itself. Go look at every country. It happens. That's how it happens.
Peter McNally says, losers, check out the California GDP. That's the top line. Their top line is good. Oh, yeah. They have the God-given resources that are unbelievable. But their bottom line is in the red.
They've been giving away higher ed for so long and to so many people. $10 million last week. I don't know if we talked about this. I heard about this, and I don't know if we brought it up or talked about it. $10 million at a minimum that they found in fraudulent California higher ed assistance by illegals that applied for college that never went and got the money from the state of California. Just $10 million. That's what they found so far. It's probably higher than that. That's what started them looking. A bunch of illegals in California applied to go to colleges, apparently got far enough along the process to apply for California financial aid, and got the money, never showed up to college. They couldn't even get into the college.
And you can't track them down because, they're not here legally. What gets me is, and like Peter McNally to me is probably a good example. I'll throw this out there, Pete. If I'm wrong, tell me. Peter would vote for this guy.
Yeah.
Peter would vote for this guy because he's not going to vote for the Republican candidate for mayor of New York. Or he might wash it out and vote for Cuomo, who is a criminal idiot. But, he might vote for Cuomo. But at the end of the day,
he'll vote for Mondani or whatever.
They're going to vote for this. The left is going to vote for this Mondani guy. And the thing is, what happened to the guy is an Indian Ugandan. He's only been in the country. He's only been a citizen for 6 years. What happened to never forget 9/11? They're going to elect a foreign-born Muslim, the mayor of New York City. And you may say, isn't that great? America landed free. That's a joke.
He's pro-Hamas. He's got ties to Linda Sassour and other terrorist groups, the Muslim Brotherhood.
It's a complete joke that the city of New York would. It's just like. It's like,
and why won't the Republicans or those running against him go there?
Well, they can't because it's not popular. You can't beat up on him because you need the vote of the youth. You need the vote of the folks that weren't, adults at 9/11. Think about it. And now many of them are voting. They were born after 9/11.
And now and here's the other problem with the right now. They're trying to take numbers. Well, 40% of New Yorkers are foreign born. 40
always been that way.
40% of New York has always been foreign born. It got lower under the Giuliani years.
Yeah, it was down to
8%. It's never
been like 5%.
In the beginning, it was 100%. Just for fact checks.
But it was also, if you think about it, in the beginning, you see that like in the 20s and 30s, it was Italians,
Irish.
Yeah, like that, and then. But it's been 40% is a good number for New York as far as people being foreign born forever. It's always been between 30 and 40%.
But as we pointed out yesterday, the ones that voted for this socialist communist were rich white women making over $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
They've never felt strife. They've never felt economic hardship.
Although $100,000 a year in New York is kind of a semi-retired hooker.
Yeah, it doesn't get
you can't get very far on $100,000 in New York. Well, partly because of all the taxes and entitlements and giveaways, and they have to have, rat patrol. Yeah, Linda Chris points out the youth of today are going to have to learn lessons about socialism and communism. Apparently, they've chosen New York City and California to learn those lessons. I agree.
Well, and the problem is they learn the lessons about communism and socialism in our schools. They've been indoctrinated to believe that it is the way and it is the right way to do things because it's fair and equal.
Yeah, it's all about DEI.
We haven't taught anybody about working hard, the things that this country was built on.
Yeah, if you don't vote for...
And I'm not glossing over the fact that we
Mondani.
enslaved people to build some things in this country, like the railroad and the southern plantations and things like that. Don't get me wrong.
Well, now generations later, nobody wants to say it, but the offsprings, the great-great-great-grandchildren of slaves, the price that their ancestors paid for them was the greatest gift they could ever give them. To be poor and uneducated in this country is better than being royalty in many. So,
and they forget the fact that up until LBJ, we didn't have the problems that we have with black families that no longer have a father in the household.
That's right.
And the Supreme Court yesterday ruling that states can defund Planned Parenthood.
And they should.
South Carolina can lawfully remove Planned Parenthood from its Medicaid program, barring patients from suing to protect their choice of healthcare provider. 6-3 decision from the Supreme Court. $792 million Planned Parenthood received from government sources in 2023. We've talked about that extensively, and there's a great book, 50 Things They Don't Want You to Know. Jermaine Hudson is the author. Go check it out on Amazon. It's a few years old now, but it's still, a lot of the data is still relevant. He goes into detail about Planned Parenthood and the numbers of abortions and what that meant to Planned Parenthood's bottom line. They're basically an abortion factory, and that's how they're staying alive.
Yeah.
They're not doing it by handing out free condoms and UTIs. And they've strategically located in poor neighborhoods.
That's right. Urban centers right next to the black neighborhood. By the way, I believe Planned Parenthood is a systemic way to hold down the black community. I've always felt that way.
And they completely ignore the fact that it was found by a racist who was
vehemently against blacks. Yes.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. We've got to take a break.
I
tell you what, folks, Went Services, Went Electrical for all your generator needs. We're in storm season. Just because there haven't been any storms doesn't mean there won't be any. Call them today, get a quote on a whole home generator.
I think we've had one, haven't we? A named storm already in the Atlantic?
Yeah,
way out in the Atlantic, not going to threaten anybody.
And there was one over there on the other side. There have been several on the Pacific side.
The Pacific side's been very active.
But yeah, we've been very, very blessed here since Harvey. Really, Beryl, I think, went through and caused a lot of rain damages. We used the gavel.
Yeah, we need to hang
for
that one.
Good job. Good job. Ads and Offer, we mentioned this weekend's a great time to get in or go online, adsandoffer.com. Check out a new Chevrolet. Check out the pre-owned vehicle department. You can do that online as well. Chesapeake and Love, make your house a home. See why you just always do better at Chesapeake. White Trash Services, 550-1826. Let BJ and Scott Nelson show you why. They're one of the fastest growing trash hauling businesses in the country. Leadership, commitment,
vision.
Great people. They do a great job. Paravita Wellness, we told you about Vita Cafe. Get in there this weekend and enjoy the brunch.
Chop and block. If you want to make some meat this weekend on your smoker, on your pit.
Or if you want a smoked prime rib plate for lunch. Today's a great day to get by and see Sean Neely in the trailer. They've got prime rib on Friday.
Ooh.
Allen's Wrecker Service.
578-6300. Give Alan a call for all your wrecker needs.
Absolutely. Great folks. Veracruz.
Today's the day. Chicken Fried Friday.
Get in there. The
That does
greatest
sound good today.
chicken fried steak you're going to find in this community. USA Concrete Coatings, Charlie Garcia, 578 home. Let Charlie help you put down a tough as nails polyurethane coat that won't crack, stick, peel, or fade. He can help you change a drab slab into a work of art.
Yep.
There you go.
So, New York Times coming up with a list of the 10 best movies of
10
the
or
century, or 100, but we can start with the 10.
All right.
And it wasn't just the New York Times. Kyle Buchanan polled about 500 people in and around the film industry, including those in it, like Sofia Coppola. Mel Brooks even chimed in on this one. So pretty interesting list. And
I'm not buying Mad Max.
that was number 11.
I'm not buying that as the best movie of the 21st
It's the highest
century.
ranking blockbuster. So there you go.
Mad Max Fury Road.
I don't even know which one that is. That's got to be one of the new ones. I like the original Mad Maxes with Mel Gibson and Tina Turner and all that. The Social Network was number 10 according to the list.
Oh,
Never
this
seen
is
it.
all since 2000.
Yeah, of the century.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This century.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why. Spirited Away, Get Out, number 8. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind was number 7. No Country for Old Men, number 6. That was a Clint Eastwood movie, right?
Tommy Lee Jones was in it.
Moonlight, number 5.
Never saw it.
In the Mood for Love, number 4.
Never saw it.
There Will Be Blood, number 3.
Never saw it.
Parasite, number 2.
Never saw it.
And the top film was Mulholland Drive by David Lynch. Very good movie.
That was a good movie. It's the Dirty Cops.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. About what was her name? The Black Widow or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Yeah. Came out in 2001. Kim
I-
Basinger. Wasn't that Kim Basinger in that movie?
I don't
Is that her?
think so.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe so.
I don't know. I don't remember.
So what it tells you is there just haven't been a lot of great films since 2000. I mean, be honest. And Hollywood is in trouble.
Well, they've just they keep rehashing things, and I think the new Superman movie comes out on the July 4th weekend.
I did read the other day, and it surprised me, which is sad. But I did read the other day that there's a big demand for PG or better family-based movies, and I think that's good. There's nothing wrong with luring the American family back
Yeah.
to the theater. Yeah,
Did y'all know that our theater just got upgraded?
I did not.
Like
I haven't been to a
6-story
movie.
screens, massaging chairs, the whole 9 yards.
No, I think I've been to a movie, honest, maybe twice
Yeah.
since COVID.
I can't remember
Yeah.
the last movie I saw in theaters.
Not to
here.
mention, you've got to go. You have to get there early to go through finance because it's like $200 a person at the snack bar. Monty Howard says Lyndon Johnson's Great Society is the 20th century plantation system that we're all still saddled with. No doubt about it. Peter McNally says the guy in New York targeting the working class on the cost of living in New York, smart tactic, and he won the primary.
By the way, socialism and communism are two different
They are
things.
two different things,
But
One,
they lead
it's
to the
all
same
based on,
outcome.
who owns the means of production is the only difference, the major difference. But at any rate, Peter, if you can stomach your party being called the New Democrat Party, your party, you're a communist. I just can't deal with that.
Here's what I don't understand with New York City and the people that live there. They're living there by choice. They're making the decision to live there on very low income and then complaining they can't find a place to live.
Can't make a living
Or
wage.
they've got to live with 18 million people in a 2-bedroom apartment to make ends meet. So you know what? Move.
Right. Don't come
Don't
to
live
Texas,
there.
though. Don't come to Texas.
It's not the mayor of New York's job to fund your lifestyle.
That's right.
Go move to Wichita, Kansas.
I agree 100%.
You can find a job as a bartender there, and you know what? You'll make some money, and you won't have to live with 18 million roommates.
You can be like AOC. You can be a bartender. Yeah.
They don't want. There's no consequences for the decisions these people are making, wanting to live in New York City. Why do you think rent is so high? Demand.
Absolutely.
Because they can.
Exactly.
Well, that's the whole deal. Everybody wants amenities, but they want to limit what the landlord can make. Yeah, Black Dahlia. Good comment.
Jared McCrugan says both rooted in bad when referring to socialism and communism. One is evil, the other is the gateway to evil. Evil light.
No, there's no doubt. Socialism is, and then people will say things like, well, we have a highway system, interstate highways. That's socialism. No, that's people coming together and agreeing that we need to do this together. That's voted upon. It's not like that's the way it is. Yeah. You can't rat hole everything, but when somebody says to you, I'm a socialist, then believe them.
Yeah.
Believe them.
You know what's funny when the left always, well, Warren Buffett, he's a great Democrat and he made a lot of money. Yeah, you know why? Because he lived in Omaha, Nebraska his whole life.
Right. In the same house for 50 years.
He's had the thing paid off forever.
He's probably a hoarder.
And apparently he has some underground bunkers and stuff to protect himself in there now. But
Very
even if he didn't own everything that he owns, he'd be pretty rich because he's paid off his house years ago. If he even didn't pay cash for it, I don't know the whole story, but he hasn't had a house payment for decades.
Oh, yeah, that's the least. A house payment's the least of his worries.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's get the brother man in here, brother. You got time to walk across? We got you a space.
As he's doing that, we'll give you a quick First State Bank Astros update. Astros with a 2-1 win over the Phillies. They sweep that series from the Phillies. They begin a series tonight with the Cubbies. Going to be a good weekend series, and that's a lot of momentum to go into the weekend.
I still believe that the Astros series with the Phillies, brother man, could be a precursor to what? Did I hear the applause? I know it's there. Precursor to the World Series, and I think the Astros approached it that way. They have a 1-0 shutout, a 2-0 shutout, and they win yesterday. What was it, 2-1?
Yeah, 2-1 yesterday.
Get down, Riker.
So 5-1, they outscore the Phillies.
5-1 over 3 games.
In a series that had a real playoff type feel to it.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, they look good. You know what they were saying, the projection of wins for the Astros now at this rate that they're going?
90 what?
92. 92 and 70.
And we didn't think they were going to hit 90 this year.
What was it, 86?
But we took the over, I think.
We took the over 86.
Yeah, they
86 and a half,
so
I think it was.
Yeah, they figured out they'd be what?
There you go. They said Cam Smith has an RBI single in the 8th to give the Astros the 2-1 win.
Yep.
Cam Smith become very clutch for a young guy. This is the kind of team, we've said it for years around here, that when you win the World Series, there's always like there's an anomaly. Cal Raleigh hit 32 home runs. Wow, that's although it's not helping the Athletics, but
Mariners fact checking.
Whatever. But you look at a guy like
Finally
McCall,
some help.
Nice call. I was thinking green uniform. I was close.
Close to you.
But you look at Jeremy Pena hitting at a high average. Jake Myers hitting over 300. Cam Smith,
they're playing ball,
performing as a rookie. Pena's hitting 324.
Myers 1 for 4, 306 average now.
Yeah, these guys. These are the kind of that makes the big difference. Christian Walker's got his average up to 214, but he's been clutch.
When Cam Smith climbing up 271
as a true rookie. That's
they're playing ball.
Hunter Brown, 7 innings pitched, 9 strikeouts, no walks.
The test is going to be the Cubs. The Cubs got a pitcher that's really sharp, and so we can take the Cubs right here. Cubs are hot, so
yes,
Astros
sir.
are playing good ball.
What all you got going? I know you had a busy day yesterday. You were all over the place.
Gosh, we were.
Your
all
voice
over
is
the place.
recovered. You almost lost your voice yesterday.
Well, I couldn't hear too good, man.
Astros now 6.5 up on the Mariners.
How about that?
They've won 4 in a row, and the Mariners have now lost 2 straight.
Running away with the West.
I think we got. Let's don't get too cocky.
No,
now,
not yet. Not
don't
yet.
Get too cocky right here. But yeah, they're doing good. Quail Creek Volunteer Fire Department cook-off this weekend, tonight and tomorrow. Be out there for a little while. I think they're cooking steak tonight.
That's our buddy Mike Bloschke. They always put together a great
they really do.
championship deal.
Yeah.
There's Donnie checking in. Hunter Brown is pitching
She
amazing.
hasn't checked
her
in
last
lately,
night.
but she's been too busy with the grandbaby. So
She's
we'll give her
awesome.
credit.
Missed her last
We'll
night.
give her a-
She's
we'll give her a
Donnie.
break.
She's terrific.
She made a flyby.
She made a flyby.
Yeah, she flew
But
in.
she did.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good. I like each other.
Yeah, they call that seagull management. You fly in, you squawk a little, you poop on everything, and you fly out.
everybody's
much-
food.
Yeah,
At your household, she'd do anything she wants.
she sure
we
can.
got
She
that.
is the boss, and
That's
I am
correct.
blessed. No doubt about it.
Wash and Wag, Dorothy O'Connor today, Pet Adoption Center. You can take your little buddy, get him all fixed up. I mentioned that.
How much is that one?
That's today.
How much?
I don't know the amount.
Donations or do they charge you?
Yeah,
I don't
they
know.
got a set fee, but
All
it's
right.
donation. That's what it is.
Yeah, but you can only take one dog, Ash.
Yeah, you can.
I can go back and forth.
Oh, that's true. Good point.
You
Good
have
point.
to.
You know, but the gas alone.
Yeah.
Right.
She
Still
says
worth it.
life's been busy.
Still
She's
worth it
been
not
working.
to have to bath your own dog.
And I do
Right.
want to mention the Generals. They've been playing some. They came back. They lost 5 in a row.
Wow.
Then they won the
That's
last 3.
baseball.
They were
That's
10
a
and 1.
championship hangover.
Lost 5, 10 to. They were 10 and 6. Now they're 13 and 6.
Folks, I got to tell you, on Sunday night, get out to Riverside. What time's the game, brother?
Next Sunday, July 6th.
July 6th. That's
July
the
6th. Thank you, sir, for
Yeah.
bringing it up.
Because I know you're not going to bring it up.
No,
It's Brother Gary night on July 6th at the Generals game at Riverside Stadium. It's a Sunday night. That's the night. If you're going to go to one game all
go out
year,
there to support the
that
brother man.
is the night.
They-
Brother Man's going to throw the first pitch.
They're
too.
not giving you a bobblehead. They give you a Brother Gary
You
knucklehead.
get a pin. You're going to get a pin.
Is that right? Oh,
First
yeah.
time.
You've got to go, folks.
First 100. And thank you, Ash and Brent,
That
for
should
allowing
be
me.
fun.
I do want to mention that. Thank the Generals first off for putting me out there. They brought a lot for our community, and Ash, he was involved with it right
Oh,
at the
for
very
years.
beginning. You
I think
remember that?
13 years total.
For year, how many?
13, I think.
13 years.
12 of the
So,
first 13, and then I came back for a cameo and did
Yeah.
maybe 1 or 2 more. I don't remember.
Junior says, we saw Dawn last night. She waved at me with all her fingers this time. Yeah.
I love it. And I want to give David Hartman a plug. AV Interiors picked up the tab for that night.
David's
Nice.
a great guy.
David's a great
and,
guy.
So
Very
yeah, he can help
fortunate.
you with your audio visual needs. He's
TV
right there
Interiors.
on Laurent.
He's right across from that snow cone or that.
Yeah,
fruit pie.
Laurent
Yeah.
and
And Red River.
Red River.
Right.
Yes.
So I want to mention that. And then I got a little bit of extra information, but thank you, Ash, and thank you, Brent, for allowing me.
Yeah,
I
the
do
brother
want it
man's
to be
kinda
good.
like, but wait,
There's more.
yeah, tell us,
All right.
bro.
Well, we got a little bit. This is, I want you to see if you knew this one. What, the sports franchise that's worth the most is, of course, the Dallas Cowboys, right? They estimated them at $10.3 billion. So the Lakers were 4th at $8 billion, and they sold for 10.1. So
It's like
$2 billion
real
more.
estate in LA. It's just
Yeah.
worth it sells for more and then it
are-
crashes.
Cowboys are worth 15, 18
They got to be worth
billion.
at least 15, I
It's
would
crazy,
think, brother.
isn't it?
Yeah, but the second most team that's worth the most, wouldn't have thought this. Basketball, San Francisco, Oakland area, Golden State,
Well,
yeah.
with their
$9.14 billion.
How can that be?
How can that be?
I mean,
players that they have under contract,
Steph Curry.
the recent success, and they probably own the arena.
Yeah.
That'd be my guess.
So
There
this
you go.
Cooper flag, though, they tell me Dallas is looking good. This Cooper flag could be
He's
the real deal.
played at Duke. He was
Oh, he's good.
freshman.
It's NBA.
18 years old.
Yeah, no,
18.
he's a great ball player.
Yeah, Cooper flag, and then the Rockets got Kevin Durant. That could be some changes over there.
Yeah,
Kevin
Kevin
Durant
Durant was 26 instead of 36. I might be excited
Might
to
be.
be a Rockets fan.
Well, with what they've got, Ash, they could have 2 or 3 good players there. And
they better win it all this year coming up because they gave away the farm for this one. 5 second rounders,
Yep.
a first rounder, a bunch of players. Yeah.
Well, then what they'll do is they'll win the championship and then sell the team.
Yeah.
and sell the team,
the
right?
real
what you
the
do.
real draft begins tonight with the NHL draft tonight.
And I want you to know you had a great crowd last night. A lot of good people.
Yes, sir.
And I heard some people over there said, and they're beefing up our attendance.
Yeah, there's
They
no
said
doubt.
that y'all were beefing up their attendance.
Darn right. We brought
Thursday
40
night had
people there
more with
last
y'all.
night.
Right. Talked to every one of them. They're good.
Yeah.
You met Roy's daughter. And
Oh,
you
yeah,
saw
that
some
was
new
great.
people that were over there.
Roy
I like
Keister.
that. It was good stuff.
It's awesome. Well,
Thank
we
y'all.
appreciate you coming by
Thank
as
you.
always. You
My
got a busy
pleasure.
weekend?
Every day of my life, and I love it, Joe.
Yeah, I know
it?
you do.
1967 reunion. That's my class at the Sky Restaurant today. They do it at lunch now.
Are
every
they
4 or
doing
5
like
months.
are they doing like
Yeah,
some
go to
mush?
Sky Restaurant.
Well, you're the only one awake at night, brother. You're the only one that's awake at
I'm the
after
only
8
one.
o'clock.
right.
Hey, not to mention the brother man will go to Sky and go, where's the group? And they're gonna go, you're it. You're it. You're the one.
I love it. Good
we'll,
stuff.
we'll
Good
get
stuff.
we'll get your lunch, brother. You know, come on in.
Yeah, right on.
You're the guy.
Brother,
Thank you.
brother organizes the reunion. How many
You-
are coming?
You get there, they're like, today's meal sponsored by Grace Funeral Home. I mean, just glad to have you come in, bro.
That's
too good.
terrible.
That's
Wow.
good. I'm gonna have to use that
Right.
one. I'm gonna have to use
You
that one.
know,
You're writing material for the brother man. now.
Metamucil for everybody. Metamucil shots. It's
Good stuff. A
It's
lot
good
of good
stuff,
stuff.
brother.
Yeah, now y'all busy this weekend. You got a lot. You
I-
got family, right?
I am. Well, you know, we're next on the 4th. We're flying with mom. Very excited, taking mom to Cabo.
Talked to her last week.
Yeah.
She's excited.
We can't
Oh,
wait.
mom's
to go.
going with you?
We're taking mom to
And
Cabo.
Ooh.
I talked to her. Brent talked to her last
got a
week. At,
passport?
her
You know,
place.
you know what's going to happen. We're going to get off the plane, and just look at my mom, and go shot, 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 shot. We'll see how that goes. But we're going to take her.
Mom's
She's
screwdriver is
excited.
vodka with Metamucil.
Right? Yeah. Just can I mix some fiber into that?
Ash,
She
did
was
you get
excited
invited to
telling me.
go?
Oh, it's going to be great.
I
She
didn't
was
get
excited,
invited.
man.
And the boys. Dawn points out, and the boys. Get down, Riker.
Baby.
And we're going to take Caden and Ryland too. It's gonna
Well,
be
That's
great.
good.
they're at that age you can't leave them home alone.
Well, no, yeah. It used to be they were too young to be left home alone. Now you got a 17-year-old. You can't leave that kid home
No.
alone.
No,
you can't do it.
Yeah, you can't fly back in the spur of the moment, right?
But we're going to be gone the 4th through the 10th.
Yes, sir.
And really looking forward to that time with mom. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I think that's wonderful.
And,
God bless y'all.
I think she's pretty fired up to go. So it's going to be hot. You know, we know it's going to be hot, but
Who
we got
cares?
comfy
Good time.
shoes.
Cabo. It's
So-
Cabo.
It's Cabo. Well, brother, man, we always appreciate it when you come in.
Thank you.
Please do not be a stranger. You know better. We
I'll
love
be
to have
here.
you.
As long as you want me, I'm coming.
Everybody have a great weekend. Be safe on the roads, and we love you. We'll talk to you on Monday.
The last day of June. Bye, folks.
Bye, folks.
I've been shot at and cut with a knife.